The garage smelled of oil and frustration. For 3 days, the mechanics had hovered over the same car, tools clanging, voices rising, tempers flaring. No one could figure it out. The car sat in the middle of the shop like a stubborn riddle, mocking them with its silence, refusing to start. Customers whispered. The boss fumed. And the younger apprentices? They smirked, pointing fingers at the one person they thought could never fix it.
A skinny, qui est boy with gris tendant. The apprentice no one respected.
But what none of them knew was that this nobody was about to do what all their experience, pride, and arrogance couldn't. Because sometimes, the ones dismissed as worthless are the ones carrying the answers everyone needs. Marcus Hale was 20.
Fresh out of school.
He had landed an apprenticeship at Hale Sons Auto Shop, the biggest mechanic garage in town. Though the shop carried his family name, Marcus wasn't treated like family, not even close. To the senior mechanics, he was the kid. The one who fetched tools, cleaned spills, and held the flashlight while real men worked. Marcus didn't complain. He kept his head down, his hands busy. But deep inside, he carried something none of them saw, an obsession with engines. He had spent years reading manuals, watching tutorials, tinkering with junkyard cars in his uncle's backyard. But no one here cared about that. Not even his boss, his uncle, Richard Hale. Richard was a thick-set man in his late 40s, his arms heavy with muscle, his voice carrying authority. He had built the shop's reputation with years of hard work, and he didn't trust kids with theories. To him, Marcus was nothing more than an errand boy. One Tuesday morning, a black luxury sedan rolled into the garage. Its engine coughed, sputtered, and died right at the entrance. The owner, Mr. Carter, a wealthy businessman with sharp eyes and an expensive watch, stepped out looking furious. "This car is less than a year old," he snapped. "And I've been to 3 shops already. No one can fix it. If you can't, I'll take my business elsewhere." The challenge was clear. Richard puffed out his chest.
Don't worry, sir.
"We'll get her running in no time." But no time turned into hours. Hours turned into days. The mechanics tested everything: spark plugs, fuel injectors, wiring, sensors. Nothing worked. The car was dead.
Frustration grew.
Customers began whispering. The shop's reputation was at stake. And Marcus? He watched silently from the corner, notebook in hand, scribbling theories. By the 3rd day, the shop floor was a storm of voices. "This thing's cursed. Probably electrical, but who knows where. Boss, maybe we should just admit we can't fix it." Richard slammed a wrench on the table. "We don't admit failure here." Marcus hesitated, then spoke softly. "Uncle, maybe it's not electrical. I've been reading the schematics for this model. I think it could be the ECM, the engine control module. If it's misreading signals, the whole system shuts down. I could try reprogramming it." The room fell silent for a moment. Then laughter erupted. "You? Reprogram an ECM?" One mechanic sneered. Another chuckled. "Kid, you can't even tighten a bolt without second-guessing yourself." "Leave the real work to us, Marcus," Richard said firmly.
Go clean the back.
Marcus bit his lip. His hands itched to prove them wrong. But he obeyed. For now. That evening, after the mechanics clocked out, Marcus stayed behind. The sedan sat silent under the dim garage lights. Marcus approached it like a puzzle waiting to be solved. He opened his notebook, flipped to his sketches, and began. With trembling hands but steady focus, he hooked up the diagnostic scanner. The data confirmed his suspicion. The ECM was looping false readings. The car wasn't broken. It was confused. Hours passed. Marcus typed line after line of code, cross-referencing manuals, resetting parameters, recalibrating sensors. His fingers moved with instinct, not hesitation. And then, he turned the key. The engine roared to life. The sound filled the empty garage like a victory cry. Marcus froze, hardly believing it. His chest swelled with pride. But he also knew no one would believe him. Not unless they saw it themselves. The next morning, the shop gathered again around the sedan. Richard barked orders, trying to maintain control, though his confidence was cracking. "All right, team. Let's give it one more go." The mechanics fumbled with wires, tried again, and failed again. The engine refused to start. That's when Marcus stepped forward. His voice was steady this time. "Step aside. Let me try." Richard glared. "Marcus, not now." But Mr. Carter, the car's owner, overheard. His sharp eyes narrowed. "Let him. I've seen enough of your experts fail. If the boy thinks he can fix it, let him try." Gasps spread through the room. Richard's pride burned, but he couldn't argue with the customer. "Fine," he spat. "Go ahead, kid. Embarrass yourself." Marcus slid into the driver's seat. The mechanic snickered, arms crossed, waiting for him to fail. But Marcus wasn't nervous this time. He knew what he had done. He turned the key. The engine roared alive, smooth, powerful, perfect. The sound silenced the room. Every mechanic froze. Mouths hung open. The laughter died instantly. Mr. Carter's face lit up with astonishment. "Incredible. How did you do that?" Marcus explained calmly, walking them through his process, the logic, the fix. He didn't boast. He didn't gloat. He simply shared knowledge no one else had bothered to consider. The garage was stunned. Richard's face turned red. His authority, his pride, shattered in front of his men, in front of the customer. For years, he had dismissed Marcus as nothing more than a helper. And yet, in one moment, Marcus had done what none of them could. Mr. Carter shook Marcus's hand firmly. "Young man, you've saved me thousands. You've saved my time. And you've shown me what real talent looks like." Then he turned to Richard. "If this is how you treat your brightest workers, maybe you don't deserve them." The words cut deep. The entire garage felt the shift. Respect moved from Richard to Marcus. Word spread quickly. Customers started asking for Marcus by name. The other apprentices stopped mocking him. The senior mechanics, once arrogant, now approached him with questions. Even Richard, though he tried to maintain his pride, could not deny the truth. Marcus was no longer invisible. He was no longer just the kid. He was the mechanic who fixed the car no one else could. And so, the shop that once mocked him became the stage where he rose. Because respect isn't about age. It isn't about titles. And it isn't about who shouts the loudest in the room. Respect is about ideas. About courage. About the ones who dare to believe in themselves when no one else does. Marcus's story reminds us of something powerful. That sometimes the people you overlook, the ones fetching tools, cleaning up, standing quietly in the shadows, they are the ones carrying the brilliance that can change everything. So the next time you're tempted to dismiss someone, remember the apprentice who fixed the car no one else could. And remember that justice, when it comes, doesn't whisper. It speaks loud enough for everyone to hear.